What's up guys, my name is Ace, and welcome back to another gun guide. This is the series where I go into great detail with all of the stats as well as some great example class setups for every gun in Call of Duty Vanguard. And in today's episode, we're going to be moving on to the second LMG, and this is the DP27. And starting it off as always, let's have a look at our damage profile, and it turns out with the DP27, this is going to be a 4 to 5 shot kill anywhere in the body. Doesn't matter if you shoot him in the foot or the chest, it's a 4 to 5 shot kill. And then when it comes to our headshot damage, we actually deal quite a bit of damage to the head, and up close, we only need one single headshot mixed in with body shots to reduce that to a 3-shot kill, which is great. As for our rate of fire, this is a little bit on the fast side for an LMG at 800 rounds per minute. And what this means for our time to kill potential is in the 4-shot kill range, it's going to be 225 milliseconds, which is a very solid and competitive time to kill. And then if you get into the 5-shot kill range, it'll be 300 milliseconds for our time to kill. Now, in that 4-shot kill range, if we land that one single headshot mixed in with the body shots, we get the 3-shot kill, and this will give us a time to kill potential of 150 milliseconds, which is insanely fast. But after that, our bullet velocity is just standard for LMGs at 930 meters per second, and now let's move into our ranges, which is pretty standard for an LMG as well. This 4-shot kill range will extend out to about 50 meters, which is going to be covering the vast majority of practical lines of sight in this game. As for hardcore game modes, as you can see here, from 0 to 50 meters, it'll be a 1-shot kill anywhere in the body, whereas beyond 50 meters, you still get a 1-shot kill to the torso, neck, and head. However, it will be a 2-shot kill if you're shooting limbs. Next up, let's get into our hipfire, which is right in the middle for LMGs. It's tied with the MG42. This isn't great hipfire, but it's not the worst in the LMG category. Then after that, let's have a look at our idle sway, which, as you can see there is some idle sway. There's definitely some movement with your sights while aiming down sight, and that could impact your first shot accuracy at longer ranges. And now let's move into our recoil, which isn't bad by any means. It does kick upward, and then it has a little bit of horizontal recoil. The problem with this horizontal recoil is it's not consistent. You can see there's a difference between these two different patterns that I fired. One of them had the tendency to lean a little to the left, the other one had the tendency to lean a bit to the right, and this is something you have to sort of dynamically compensate for with the DP27. But then let's have a look at our aim down sight spread, or our bloom, and as you can see there is very little bloom with the DP27. This should generally never be an issue for you. After that, let's have a look at our handling stats, and our aim down sight time is quite slow at 440 milliseconds. This is slower than average even for LMGs. However, our sprint out time is bang on average for LMGs. It's the same for all of the LMGs. And now let's get into our reload add time, which as you can see here, it is quite slow. It's not as slow as the MG42, but it is the second slowest reloading LMG in the game at 4.66 seconds. And finally, for our base stats with this gun, let's have a look at our mobility stats. And pretty much across the board, the DP27 is just slightly below average for LMGs. This is mainly just due to the fact that the Type 11 pulls that average up quite a bit with its higher mobility. So there we have it, those are the base stats for the DP27. Now let's move into the barrel attachments, and we're going to start it off with the recoil. And as you can see here, the first barrel does reduce our vertical recoil, but there is a decent amount of horizontal recoil there, so I don't really like the looks of that recoil pattern. Then the second barrel, this one has a similar effect, but not to the same degree, so it sort of compresses the vertical recoil, but it doesn't do much in the way of helping you with horizontal recoil. After that, the third barrel, this one is great for our recoil. This one eliminates a lot of that horizontal movement, which is excellent to see. I really like that barrel. And then finally, with the rapid barrel, this one increases our rate of fire, which also increases the vertical and horizontal recoil we experience with this gun, but at least you get a better time to kill with that one. As for how these barrels impact our ranges, there's only 2 barrels that actually change the range profile. The first one will very slightly reduce our 4-shot kill range, but it's still got a great 4-shot kill range there. And then the second barrel, the 604mm, this one massively improves our 4-shot kill range all the way out to 81 meters, which is pretty insane. And diving just a little bit deeper into the one and only barrel that changes our time to kill potential with the DP27, this is the 4th and final barrel, the rapid barrel, and with this we get an increase to our rate of fire all the way up to 923 rounds per minute. That's a very noticeable increase. And what this means for our time to kill potential is in the 4-shot kill range is now 195 milliseconds, which is a really good time to kill potential, especially when you factor in the range values. 195 millisecond time to kill at like 50 meters is pretty insane for this game. However, we do have to remember this does harm our recoil as well, so it is going to be limiting your potential at range unless you counteract that with a lot of attachments. So I'd say this is not a bad attachment if you want that extra rate of fire and that benefit to your time to kill, but you will lose some versatility in the process. And that's pretty much it when it comes to the barrel attachments. Now let's move on to the magazine attachments. And with this, we'll once again start it off with a recoil, and I did want to test the 6.5 Sakura rounds because even though the detailed stats in the menu state no change to our accuracy or recoil or anything, apparently this behaves exactly the same as 7.62x54R, which is the base caliber. I just wanted to test this to confirm because that's a little bit strange to see no change to our recoil with a change in caliber. But you can see there, it looks like there's no real noticeable change to our recoil whatsoever, just like the menu states. However, with the 30-06, you can see that this does increase the recoil a little bit. There's a bit more of a jump between a lot of the rounds that are fired, but it's not like you have insane recoil with this. It's still manageable with 30-06. And after that, let's have a look at our range profile, and the only one that impacts our ranges is 30-06, which as you can see, it turns it into a 3-shot kill, and it extends our range value over 60 meters, which is awesome. But let's dive a little bit deeper into 30-06 so we can see the more detailed stats with this. Now, the first thing that we see here is a reduction to our rate of fire down to 731 rounds per minute. That's a noticeable reduction, but still a very respectable rate of fire for this gun. However, like you saw, it makes it a 3 to 4 shot kill now, and therefore our time to kill potential in the 3-shot kill range is 164 milliseconds, which is incredible, especially out to 60 meters. There are very few guns in the game that can compete with that at longer ranges. Now, it's also worth noting this 3 to 4 shot kill will apply literally anywhere in the body. It doesn't matter if you shoot him in the toe or the head, it's a 3 to 4 shot kill, which is great for consistency. The only real noticeable downside here is that increase to our recoil, which, like I said, it's still manageable recoil, but you will be a bit less effective at longer ranges. And therefore, I do consider this to be an incredible attachment to be using. I highly recommend 30-06 with the DP27. And with that, it's finally time to get into some excellent attachment combinations with this gun, and the first one I wanted to share for you guys is a great versatile DP27 build. So with this, we don't have any attachments that change our base time to kill because our base time to kill is great by default, especially if you manage to land just one single headshot, which is fairly easy to do with how accurate this build is. As you can see there is very little recoil with this. You can challenge people across the map with no issue whatsoever. So you can easily use this build for locking down those really long lines of sight, especially with our 76 meter 4-shot kill range. But this also has fairly decent handling for an LMG at least, so you can be slightly more aggressive. You don't have to just hang back and pick people off. And this is why I just consider this to be a great, versatile DP27 build. As for the next one though, this is the 3-shot killer. This one I do feel is superior in a lot of ways at least. With this, it's going to be a 3 to 4 shot kill anywhere, and that 3-shot kill range will extend out to 56 meters for a 164 millisecond time to kill, which is incredible. And to top this off, I managed to keep the recoil very controllable with this. It's got mainly vertical recoil, which is very easy to compensate for. There's very little horizontal bounce with this, which is great to see, so you can use this even at longer ranges just fine. The only real big downside to this though is our aim down sight time is quite slow, but to compensate for that, we do have a reasonably decent aim walking movement speed, which can be helpful if you want to pre-aim a situation and then strafe around a corner. And with that, that's going to wrap it up for today's gun guide on the DP27 LMG. As for my thoughts on this gun, I personally love it. I've really liked this basically since Vanguard launched. This has been one of my favorite LMGs to use. I think it's just really versatile. It's got a great time to kill potential, super accurate. I really like using it overall. But of course, those are just my thoughts. I'd like to hear from you guys in the comment section below. What do you think of the DP27 LMG? Do you really like this gun or not so much? Just let me know down below. Also, if you guys have missed any of the previous episodes, I will leave a link to the playlist in the description down below, as well as a link to the spreadsheet with all of the basic stats of the guns in the game. If you enjoyed the video, a like rating is always appreciated, and don't forget to subscribe for more if you haven't already. I'll talk to you guys next time.